begun, and we were eager to punish the traitors. They had brought this war upon us, and we were going to make them pay for it. At least that's what we thought before the battle. None of us were really quite prepared for what would happen next.
So guys, battle is finally upon us. The campaign has been raging, and after your decisions, with the parliamentarians concentrating their attacks down in the south at Oxford, the northern armies of the royalists have been attacking the Midlands. And so to that end, we've got two royalist armies converging on a much weaker parliamentarian force. The parliamentarians have one pike, one musketeer, one dragoon, and one harquebusier regiment. So very small. It was just sort of a garrisoning force up in the north. However, coming up against them, we've got the combined armies of York and Nottingham under the command of Prince Rupert and Maurice. They outnumber the parliamentarians 2-1. So it's probably going to be a foregone conclusion, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. We'll see how the parliamentarians put up a fight. Both sides are up for a good battle here, so let's see how they can do. Objectives, basically for the royalists, destroy the enemy, hold the field at the end of the battle, and the parliamentarians, being a smaller force, is for them to hold as long as possible, preferably hold the field or remain on the field till turn 15. The parliamentarians, being the defenders, chose the ground, and so they've got a nice sort of semi-hilly, semi-farmland battlefield, so they're free to choose to defend however they want to. Unbeknownst to me at the time, my opponent, who was the parliamentarian, did lay a trap for me, so you'll see that in a little while. So on turn 1, the two royalist armies are coming in through two different directions, whilst the parliamentarian force is already deployed. And they've decided to sort of take the the southern side of the table. There was a little bit of artillery fire in round 1, but nothing too major. And then the cavalry did charge in the lower left corner on the left flank of the royalists, and that was where our first melee of the game took place. Unfortunately for the parliamentarians, they were routed. A mixture of the charge plus the artillery fire which was going down on them dealt them some pretty devastating hits. The remainders of the armies just kept royalists plugging forwards. And it was at this point that the trap was sprung, and the dragoons who were hiding in the field jumped up and started pouring in the fire onto troops marching in from York, inflicting some pretty nasty casualties on them and dealing a bit of a morale blow to the royalist forces. Overall, the remainder of the parliamentarians at this stage were withdrawing. The cavalry had been routed, and the infantry knew that there wasn't much of a chance for them considering what was coming against them, so it was more of a holding action now. So as moved into turn 3, the artillery pounded away again. This time it had switched fire more onto the infantry, seeing as the cavalry was still tied up. The cavalry who had routed got charged by the royalist cavalry and would be annihilated, unfortunately for them. However, the combined royalist forces are after the parliamentarian infantry, but parliamentarians have saddled up and are trying to evacuate. So yeah, as I said, the writing was on the wall, so rather than standing and losing more forces, it was the decision of the parliamentarian commander that he would try and get as many of his troops out as he could, so that he would be able to fight another day. The royalists did pursue the dragoons, put some fire into them, but it was very minimal casualties, luckily for the dragoons, and they were able to extricate themselves. At the end of the game, We did roll to see whether the parliamentarians could retreat without loss, and they rolled well, so they didn't suffer any additional casualties by getting caught by royalist cavalry, for instance. So that was a definite boom for the parliamentarians, but overall they did lose. They lost the field, and they lost significantly more troops. So first blood goes to the royalists. Anyway, I hope you've been enjoying the campaign, hope you enjoyed this battle, and I'll see you for the next one.